Hello, Johnny here. If you've been following Eurogamer's channel closely, you might have seen a video I released a couple of months ago on the games that get mental health right, portraying problems and support mechanisms with sensitivity and tact. It's a piece I'm quite proud of, but it's still a pretty general overview of mental health as a catch-all phrase, and seeing how this topic is especially important to me, I decided I wanted to make a small, semi-frequent series about different aspects of mental health with specific reference to video games. Now, I don't want these videos to be straight-up testimonials, even though personal aspects will creep in. There are already several good articles about how a specific video game helped an individual overcome something terrible, and I don't want to cheapen those by putting out a big handful by myself. Instead, I want to take a more analytical approach and unpick what it is about specific games, or games in general, that we can find useful in understanding and coping with mental health difficulties. I want to examine how they can hold up a mirror to our problems, how they can help us understand the struggles others face, or even those we tackle on a daily basis. I've decided to call the series Low Batteries, and to start it off relatively small, with games as a support mechanism for depressive moods, and the concept of the sad game. Now, when I say sad game, I don't mean a game that's inherently sad or downbeat. In fact, I don't mean sad game at all, I mean sad game, which is how I've come to refer internally to the game I seek out and play when I'm feeling down. These games, whatever form they may take, can act like a bit of a circuit breaker. Personally, if I'm feeling anxious or depressed, I can boot up my current sad game and know that my internal monologue will be switched off for a bit. I can put up a little buffer between myself and the immediacy of what's troubling me, and it provides a vital bit of breathing room. Now, this sad game isn't always the same. It changes every few months, or in some cases after a year or more. Sometimes it's a new experience, sometimes it's something very familiar. Sometimes I don't have one at all.
Hi, my name's Guybrush Threepwood, and I want to be a pirate.
The first time I became aware I had a game I'd gravitate toward when I was feeling down was halfway through completing The Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition. There was something about wandering around a world full of witty people and setting my own pace that made me feel safe. I soon realised I'd been keeping a video game on backup as a security measure for years, and since then it's become an important part of my life. While we've already established games can be useful because they help occupy our conscious minds, leaving the unconscious to process things in the background, the way we approach deciding what game to play can also be an important gauge of how we're doing in general. In other words, we can infer how we're feeling from what games we feel like playing, even if the emotions or issues haven't actually become apparent to us yet. For example, my current sad game is Elite Dangerous. It's pretty sedate, but it's just involved enough to keep me occupied. Exploring the galaxy gives me a sense of purpose without too much performance pressure. I can sometimes boot up Elite on a whim, and after about half an hour I'll think, hang on, this is my sad game, is there something up? Quite often the answer is no, but sometimes it turns out that yes, actually I'm on a low swing and I'd been plodding through it up until that point, hoping it would go away. In this way, games can be useful in a diagnostic sense, helping us catch things we otherwise might have missed, as well as helping us deal with the stuff we do know about. Now, I put the question of what sad games people use most commonly to Twitter. The number and breadth of responses was honestly pretty staggering. Animal Crossing, FTL, World of Warcraft, Assassin's Creed Revelation, The Binding of Isaac, Ho-Hokum, Peggle, Super Smash Bros., Hotline Miami, Dragon Age, Skyrim, Mario Kart, Resident Evil 4, Guitar Hero, Destiny, FIFA, Minecraft, even Journey's End on the Spectrum. It became clear that in the same way everyone's mental health is personal, so their coping mechanisms become tailored to suit the individual as well. Of course, as with all coping mechanisms, there's a fine line to tread between temporary escapism and flat-out denial. While sometimes games can provide a much-needed release, we can, in turn, begin to rely on them too much. They can become an excuse not to confront our problems, rather than a useful part of a wider set of tools aimed at confronting and processing mental health issues. Pip War, who writes for Rock Paper Shotgun, described this extremely well in an article she wrote about Dota 2. In it, she describes how she used her time with the game to convince her she was functioning at a higher level than she really was. It's an extraordinary read, and I'll paste a link in the comments below. So, to bring this slightly circuitous look at games as support mechanisms to a close, what I'm trying to say is that in the same way games can be used to excite or delight us, they can also be used to soothe us and make us feel secure. As with every coping mechanism, there is a fine line to tread, and it's important we get to recognise the signals and read when something is amiss. For the help they do provide though, video games are pretty special. If you feel like you or someone you know may be suffering, please don't do it alone. You can find links to helpful organisations and charities in the description of this video. Feel free to share your own experiences in the comments below, and please do make suggestions for future episodes of Low Batteries to me on Twitter. Thanks for watching and take care.